All right, we're gonna pick up this combat again. We were in this adventure here, the Citadel of the Lost Citadel of the Scarlet Minotaur. I can never get that right. But we were dealing, as you remember, we were dealing with a hulking undead brute. And again, once a warrior, now a hulking armor-patched corpse. And so we're going to have to deal with this guy. He hasn't seen us yet, stands between us and a set of double doors, the only visible exit from the chamber. And scattered throughout the chamber are collapsed pillars. And so our options here are either to charge into combat. Not so sure. I kind of want to. I've been leaning maybe towards the magic missile, honestly. Because I don't. And I may also have Thralganlir do the turn undead, but we're gonna go for it here. I have to make a decision. I have a feeling this thing's gonna be really, really tough. So let me try to speak here and see what happens. I'm gonna have Sarwyn cast a magic missile for an auto hit opening volley. All right, let's try that. Oof. Auto hit launches 3 darts of force. Each deals 1d4 plus 1 damage, casting with advantage. All right, dart 1, 4, dart 2, 3, dart 5. Dart 3 gets 5 damage, total of 12. Impact. 3 glowing missiles streak across the chamber. 1 to the chest, 1 to the shoulder, 1 square in the undead brute's wrapped face. It reels, emits a gurgling rattle screech, and the head jerks unnaturally to one side, the wrappings burning away to reveal a rotted face twisted in eternal agony. The chain flail rises. It has seen you. Oh my. It has 28 hit points. It bellows and begins charging, flail dragging, sparks behind it. All right, so what do the rest of us do? We've got to choose our actions. Frontline fighters, we've got Vam, Uzguk, Tharian, Grumpsh, and Thormil. So we got 4 fighters. Charge forward, hold ground, and defend. Oh my. Attempt to sneak behind. I really want to charge forward, and while I'm charging forward, let me know the coordinated battle plan. Okay, so I think we're going to do a coordinated plan. I think I'm going to charge forward with the fighters. I'm going to attempt to sneak behind with Lingen. Um, I'm going to maybe have Thralganlir do ready the cure wounds because I'm not sure if I the attempt turn undead and it doesn't work. All right, here's the plan. All right, I'm going to have the frontline fighters Vam, Uzguk, Tharian, Grumpsh, and Thormil charge forward. Lingen is going to attempt to sneak behind for a backstab. Throlganlir is going to ready his cure wounds, and Sarwyn is going to move into cover and retreat to avoid melee. There's a lot of commands. All right, this is a whole lot. Combat erupts in a thunderclap of boots, steel, and spells. The front line charge. The 5 warriors of the company of Red Iron rush forward like an iron tide. Vam leads with a roar, long sword flashing. Uzguk barrels forward, great sword raised high. Tharian advances with his shield, steady and eyes locked on target. Gromsh snarls and swings with wild fury. Thormil moves in from the flank, mace ready. Saruman ducks behind a collapsed pillar, taking full cover. The soft glow of arcane energy still clings to his fingers as he prepares for the next strike. Thralgenlir raises his holy symbol and watches carefully, prepared to sprint forward and cast Cure Wounds at the first fallen ally. The eyes of Geed glow faintly above his brow. All right, Lingen Moonfinger, stealth for backstab. He does a stealth check. 17 success. He vanishes behind rubble, torch extinguished. Shadows cling to him. He circles wide behind the brute. The frontline engagement. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. The brute attacks on Uzguk. Rolls a 15. Hit. Damage is 2d6. That's a lot. He takes a 9. Uzguk staggers, blood drawn. His grip tightens. Uzguk has 7 hit points to start. He's dropped. He drops to one knee, unconscious and bleeding out. Fam's attack rolls an 18. Hit. Damage 7. Fam slashes deep across its ribs, splintering undead flesh and rusted mail. Therian's attack 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. Bonus damage 1d8 plus 3, 5. Tharian stabs it into its side, keeping its attention locked forward. The brute hit points drop to 4. Grumsh's attack 16 plus 4 is a 20. Damage 1d8 plus 4. He scores an 8. Grumsh leaps and stabs into its leg. The goblin severs the tendons. The creature buckles. The brute falls. Just as it begins a final lurch, Lingen emerges from shadow, blade raised, but the creature topples backward. The ruin, echoing with its fall. The crown of nails clatters to the stone floor. All right. Uzguk, the aftermath of Uzguk is down and bleeding out. Thralgenlir rushes forward. Thralgenlir, cure wounds on Uzguk. Oh, heals 1d6. He's gasped and sits up, bloodied but alive. 4 hit points. All right, so that ended up working out. I don't really have any kind of potions of healing or anything like that, so I had to rely on a cure wounds spell here. Loot and room details. The brute's flail is rusted but massive, likely too heavy to use efficiently. The nail crown appears ceremonial or cursed. The double doors at the far end remain sealed. There are alcoves with cracked urns and ancient dust-covered weapon racks. Should I do a detect magic, perhaps? Try to open the double doors. I'm telling you what, I think we need to take a light rest. We light another torch and we regroup and rest briefly. A fresh torch flares to life, casting warm light over the blood-spattered stones, and still settling dust. The smell of rot and old iron lingers in the air. The company of red iron gathers near the ruined pillars, forming a defensive circle, while Throgonlear inspects Uzguk's wounds and wipes away the streaks of dried blood with sacred cloth. Short rest is only 10 minutes. During this time, Grumsh paces, occasionally poking the brute's corpse with his sword. Not getting up again, right? Lingen relights his torch and sets it into a wall sconce. Tharian sharpens his blade, murmuring prayers to Saint Teragnus. And Sarwin studies the nail crown from a distance, eyes narrowed, and Thormil stands guard, his breath steady, shoulders unshaken. So Uzguk now at 4 hit points from Throgonlear's spell. There's no other major injuries. The torch timer, we've used one torch with Lingen and lit a second. Remaining torchlight is 50 minutes based on the current torch. All right, so the room details, I need to probably stop a second and make sure I check off one of the torches in the off the character sheet. All right, as I'm briefly looking over my character sheets, and I notice Vam is still at 7 hit points as well, 7 out of his 11. This is kind of how I'm tracking it here. So I've got all the character sheets open. Uzguk has 4 hit points out of his maximum of 7. So I have to keep track of that. I also went over to Lingen and I deleted one of his torches out of his slot. So right now he has the second torch. I've got at least all the guys have 2 or 3 torches apiece. So I think we're going to be okay, at least for the time being. But, light management is a big part of Shadowdark. None of these characters, the dwarf, nobody has night vision, or dark vision, I should say, um, similar to what you might find in 5e or other RPG games. So it adds an extra element in here that you really need to manage. Okay, so the room details, we reassessed those. The brute's flail is jagged, oversized, and cursed looking, very heavy and unusable. The nail crown's cracked, made from iron nails hammered into a bone circlet. The alcoves hold cracked urns, ashes and bone fragments, ancient spearheads long since rusted, and a lockbox buried beneath dust and rubble. Hmm. I want to have Lingen. I'd like to have Lingen inspect the lockbox. Lingen brushes dust from his sleeves and pads toward the alcove, torchlight glinting in his eyes. The rest of the company watches in still silence as he kneels beside the half-buried lockbox, nestled among crumbled stones and broken urns. Iron-banded, wooden dwarven made, from the looks of it, rusted but intact. The lock is small but delicate and light. Delicate and tight, I'm sorry. Likely trapped or enchanted. All right. Lingen studies the seam, then grins sharply. Ha, nasty little sting trap tucked under the latch. Classic needle and finger job. Man, everything's got traps on it in here. So thievery disabled the trap or successful with a slow breath. Lingen slides a thick pin beneath the latch and click. The tension releases. The trap is disabled. Thievery rolls an 11. Um, 11, 17. Another click and the lock pops open without a sound. Inside the lockbox, small velvet pouch containing 3 polished garnets, a bone scroll tube sealed with red wax stamped with a bull's head sigil, a folded parchment, brittle with age and inked in dwarvish runes, 25 silver coins neatly stacked in an iron tray. So we got some party loot here. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to divide this up between the characters here, I believe. Party loot gained. And then I'm gonna probably have Thormil or Throlgunlir read the ancient dwarvish note and try to figure out what's up. So I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm just gonna update the character sheets with a couple of the items, make sure I've got those taken into account. All right, so it looks like I had moved forward a little bit and I actually wasn't recording, so I apologize for that. Um, we're taking a look at the double doors at the end of the chamber. We decided the scroll is kind of bad news. It's going to release something that we don't want to deal with. We took a look at the double doors. I had Lingen do a trap check. He did detect a little channel, and there was either some kind of blade or darts that were going to be fired. So he was able to disable the trap. And then we went ahead and had Sarwin try to detect magic on the door, and we did see that the door glowed with some dull faded magic. It was not strong enough to stop us, but it was lingering with some old wards, defensive enchantments long dead, or nearly so. But beyond the door, there sensed a lingering presence. There's a trace of necromancy, pulsing faintly like something waiting, but not active yet. So Saruman muttered, "The door's not active, enchanted anymore, but something beyond it still breathes magic, death magic." All right, so we've got the door to the point where we can open it. So we've got a decision that we need to make on these double doors, and what we're gonna do. But I think I'm gonna save that for the next installment. So hopefully this is good. We haven't lost anybody yet in the party, but after all, this is Shadowdark, so there is that possibility. We've got a couple injured fighters. Um, they're not going to be able to take a whole lot of damage, depending on what we face going forward. So um, I see this. I see the what's beyond these doors could be very dangerous. But anyhow, we're going to save that for the next time. I'll see you guys later.